In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Dear audience, this is Language and Linguistics Online. I am Khurram Shahzad from National University of Modern Languages, Islamabad. We have been talking about predicative complements. I have discussed subjective complements, objective complements, and oblique complements. Our today's topic is modifiers. Along with modifiers, I will be talking about form and function together. I am following Peter cells here. The function of direct object, indirect object, predicative complements and oblique complements all have one common property. And what is that property? They are all selected by the verb. No doubt, verbs are of different kinds. So we have got transitive verbs which require one object, ditransitive verbs which require two objects, indirect object and direct object. We have got copular or linking verbs which require predicative complements. It means that verb plays a very important role in English sentence. Of course, when human beings, they are talking about different kinds of events, so they make use of language, and verb will tell us what kind of subject is required here. Verb will tell us what kind of objects are required here, or what kind of complements are required here. So verbs' important role cannot be denied here. And we view them as being present to complement the verb to form a legitimate VP. And of course, in this way, a legitimate VP is made. Hence, they are called complements, and typically they cannot be omitted because complements are the essential part of the sentence. Whether it is direct object, indirect object, subjective complement, objective complement, or oblique complement, all of them are very important. Of course, at one time, usually we require one thing, but objects or oblique complements or predicative complements, they all are the necessary part of the English sentence. On the other hand, modifiers, they are the optional part of the English sentence. The bus stopped suddenly. So here suddenly is an adverb or a modifier. Shakespeare wrote his plays a long time ago. So long time ago is a modifier. It is something optional. They went to the theatre in London. So in London is a modifier. He failed chemistry because he can't understand it. Because he can't understand it is a modifier. Modifiers are usually adverbial phrases. They tell us about time. They tell us about place or the reason why the event has taken place. And usually they give the answer of the question when, where, and why. So suddenly in London, they are also known as adjuncts. So adjuncts mean that they are not the necessary part of the sentence. Furthermore, you should remember that one of the characteristics of modifiers is that they can be stacked up, whereas complements cannot. They can be arranged in the sentence. For example, I saw this film several times last year during this summer. So several time, adverbial phrase. Last year, time, adverbial phrase. During the summer, adverbial phrase. On the other hand, in one sentence, you can have only one complement. It could be a subjective complement or it could be an objective complement. So two complements like subjective and objective, they cannot come together. One more thing that you should remember, that these adverbials or modifiers, they cannot be converted into the passive voice. On the other hand, direct object or indirect objects, they can be converted into the passive voice. For example, my uncle visited today. So we cannot say today was visited by my uncle. I repeat, modifiers, they give us extra information. They are not the necessary part of the sentence. They give the answer of the question why, when, and where. And usually they are also called adjuncts. The next topic that I should cover today is form and function together. We now can analyze each sentence in terms of grammatical function as well as the structural constituents. Let us see how we can analyze a simple sentence along these two dimensions. Look at the T diagram. The little cat devoured a mouse. So a little cat or the little cat, it is basically an NP. So in T diagram you can see that NP here is working as a subject, and in semantic roles we can call it agent. So D is determiner, little is adjective, and cat is head noun. Devoured is a verb which is part of the predicate, part of the sentence. And then predicate can have an object. Object is again composed of an NP, a mouse. So A is determiner and mouse is noun. And here devoured a mouse. So because mouse is affected by the action of the cat, this is the patient. So form and function, they will work together. Assigning grammatical function within complex sentences is no different. Sentence. John believes that the cat devoured a mouse. So here we have got another sentence. John believes. So subject John, which is a noun or noun phrase. Believes is a predicate, which is a verb phrase. And from verb phrase you can see that we can find a complementizer or complement phrase. So complement phrase here is that. John believes that. And then we have got a modifying sentence, which is a complete sentence. The cat devoured a mouse. So the cat is the subject again, devoured is a verb, and mouse is the object. Each clause has its own subject and predicate. John is the subject of the higher clause, whereas cat is the subject of the lower clause. We can now notice that there are two objects. The CP is the object of the higher clause, whereas the NP is that of the lower clause. Because CP, it is joining the sentence, it is modifying the word believes. John believes that. So it is basically a complement clause. It is modifying the whole sentence, that is believes. John believes that. Every category in a given sentence has a grammatical function, but there is no one-to-one mapping between categories such as NP or CP or its possible grammatical functions. The following data set shows us how different phrase types can function as subject or object. Remember, it is not just the NP which can work as the subject of the sentence, or it is not just the NP which can work as the object of the sentence. So here in these examples, you will notice that VP can work as a subject or can work as an object, or complementizer can work as a subject. Let's read the sentences. The termites destroyed the sand castle. Here the termites is the NP, which is the subject of the sentence. Being honest is not an easy task. Being honest is a VP, because being is from the verb be, and ing form is used here, which is known as present participle. So being honest is not an easy task. That John passed surprised her. That John passed surprised her. Surprised is the main verb here, predicator. That John passed is a CP, complementizer. To finish this work on time is almost unexpected. To finish this work on time is coming at the place of the subject. So this VP is working as the subject of the sentence. Under the bed is a safe place to hide. Under the bed is coming at the place of the subject. So under the bed, which is starting with a preposition, which is a PP, is working as the subject of the sentence. I sent a surprise present to John. A surprise present is working here as an object. They wondered what she did yesterday. Modifying sentence is working here as an object. They believed that everybody would pass the test. That everybody, again a complementizer, which is a complement clause telling us about believed. So it is coming at the place of the object. So the whole CP is the object of the sentence. Are you going on holiday before or after Easter? I prefer after Easter. After Easter which is a prepositional phrase, is working as the object of the sentence. Now Peter Sells talks about the tests that we have utilized to identify the subjecthood of the sentence, and these three tests were subject auxiliary inversion, question tag, subject verb agreement. Let's read the examples. That John passed surprised her, didn't it? So this is a question tag. Didn't it? It is used for that John passed, which was, a complementizer. So for complementizer, it is used. So surprised, which is a verb in past simple tense, so did is used. That the march should go ahead and that it should be cancelled have been argued by different people at different times. Have been. That the march should go ahead is one, thing which is coming before the conjunction, and conjunction is and that it should be cancelled. So it means that there are two subjects which are joined with the help of and. So the verb is have been argued. To finish it on time made quite a statement, didn't it? It is used for to finish it on time. So all kinds of tests, that is subject verb agreement, subject auxiliary inversion, and question tags, they can be used to determine whether they are the subject of the sentence or not. And these three tests, they qualify and they prove that these phrases, they are working as subject of the sentence. The same goes for modifiers as noted before. Not only adverb phrase but also phrases such as NP, modifying sentence, VP or PP can function as a modifier. The little cat devoured a mouse last night. So last night, which is an NP, is working here as a modifier. She left or John left very early. Adverb phrase very early is working here as a modifier. John has been at Stanford for 4 years. For 4 years is a prepositional phrase working here as a modifier. John studied hard to pass the exam. To pass the exam is a complementizer. Okay, so VP, and it is working here as a modifier. She disappeared when the main party arrived. Modifying sentence, when the main party arrived. So modifying sentence here is working here as a modifier. Look at the T diagram. The little cat devoured a mouse last night. So the little cat is subject and NP. The determiner, little adjective, cat head noun. Devoured verb predicate. And from predicate we have got NP, a mouse. And last night, which is a modifier, it is coming out of the verb phrase, that is the predicate. So this is how, dear students, you can make a representation of the sentence through a T diagram. In my today's class, I have talked about modifiers and I have talked about how form and function, they can work together. Thank you very much.